Sit less, live longer, the secret for seniors who want to stay healthy. Have you ever wondered why sitting for too long can affect your longevity? Sounds strange, right? After all, after decades of working, and then when we retire, we just want to be able to sit still, rest, read the newspaper, watch TV, or chat with friends and children. However, this seemingly harmless sitting still is silently deteriorating our health every day. I know, hearing this will make some people a little surprised. Maybe you are sitting on the sofa right now, sipping a cup of tea, turning on the video to watch, and then suddenly stopping because of the above statement. But don't worry, I don't mean to make you worry. Actually, the purpose of this video is for us to realize a truth that we often ignore, and then find gentle and simple ways to improve the situation, without having to jog or lift weights like young people, but still live happily, live healthy, and live longer. So, why is sitting for a long time so dangerous? And what is happening inside the body every time we sit too much, especially when we are over 60 years old like us? The story is not simply about tired legs or numb back. It is much deeper, and there are scientific studies from major universities in the US that have proven it. In this video, we will explore together the secrets behind sitting too long, its impact on the heart, brain, and longevity. At the same time, I will also share very easy-to-do remedies, so simple that you can do them right while watching this video. And especially, at the end of the video, there will be a method that the medical community calls miracle medicine that does not need to be taken if you persevere to do it every day for a few minutes. It can help prolong life naturally, effectively, and gently. So remember to watch the video until the end. Now, let's start to explore why sitting for too long, seemingly harmless, affects longevity so much. First, imagine this. When we are young, we move a lot, walking to school, going to work, doing outdoor activities. Some of us even do manual labor, moving a lot every day. But after a certain age, especially when we retire, our movement habits begin to decrease. We sit more during meals, when watching the news, playing chess, or simply resting. At first it was a few hours a day, then gradually it could be 10, 12 hours. According to a long-term study conducted by the US National Cancer Institute, people who sit for more than 7 hours a day have a 30% higher risk of premature death than those who sit for less than 3 hours. And this is not because they smoke or eat unhealthy, it is simply because they sit too long, too often, for many years. So what happens when we sit for too long? First, the blood circulation in the body begins to slow down, especially in the legs and hips. This increases the risk of blood clots, one of the leading causes of stroke. In older people like us, when the blood vessels have weakened over time, poor circulation is even more dangerous. Not only that, when we sit still, the muscles, especially the muscles in the legs and back, begin to weaken. And used muscles will gradually atrophy, causing us to lose flexibility and balance. This is the reason why many older people fall when walking, especially when stepping out of a chair without support. I have a friend in Texas. He is a healthy person, reads the newspaper, watches TV, plays Sudoku every day, but rarely walks. One day, while standing up from a chair, he felt dizzy and fell down. After that, he began to suffer from persistent back pain, insomnia, and just a few months later needed assistance when walking. Not because he was seriously ill, but because the silent changes from sitting for too long caused his body to decline very quickly. The second point we need to mention is the effect on the heart. When sitting for a long time, the heart is not stimulated to work as strongly as when we walk or do light exercise. The circulatory system becomes lazy, increasing blood fat, causing high blood pressure, and in the long term will affect the cardiovascular system. The risk of heart attack and stroke therefore increases significantly. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has shown that people who have the habit of sitting for long periods of time have a 147% higher rate of cardiovascular disease than those who do light exercise every day. Interestingly, sitting too much also affects the brain. When you don't exercise, blood flow to the brain also decreases. This reduces alertness, memory, and is even related to the risk of dementia in old age. A study at the University of California showed that just sitting continuously for more than 4 hours a day, the brain area related to memory will show signs of significant volume shrinkage on MRI images. Let's try to remember, on days when we sit a lot, we feel our brains are much more sluggish, right? But there is a comforting truth: those negative effects are completely reversible. We just need to change from very small things. And that, we will discover together in this video. Now, to start changing, there is an extremely simple but effective thing: interrupting long sitting times by standing up regularly. No need to do anything big, just every 30 to 60 minutes, stand up, walk around the room a few times, or do some stretching, leg curls, back stretches. Just that much can help blood circulation again, awaken muscles and cardiovascular system. Many experts also call this stand-up medicine. No need to drink, no side effects, but extremely effective for old age. If you have a smartwatch or phone, you can set an alarm every hour to remind yourself to stand up. If not, we can create a habit for ourselves. Every time we finish watching an episode of TV, stand up to get a drink of water. Or when we finish listening to a song, stand up and shrug a few times. Such small actions can add up to a huge difference after a few months, a few years. Next, to overcome sitting too much, we can make light exercise a part of our daily activities. For example, instead of sitting and waiting for water to boil, we can stand and turn around, flexing our legs rhythmically on the spot. When brushing our teeth, instead of standing still, we can walk back and forth in the bathroom. It may sound trivial, but it is these small things that keep the blood circulating, keep the mind sharp, and most importantly, keep life from being shortened by laziness. And if you have ever thought to yourself, "I'm old, why do I need to exercise so much?" you are not alone. Many people think so. But in fact, science has shown that at this age, maintaining flexibility is more important than ever. Together, we have understood why sitting for long periods of time can affect cardiovascular health, blood circulation, and even memory. As well as the first simple way is to divide up sitting time and stand up regularly. Now, let's move on to another small but effective action, and it can help you exercise and improve your mood on days when you can't go out. But before we move on, I'd love to hear your opinion. What do you think about the habit of sitting for a long time? Are you sitting too much every day? Have you ever realized that you've been sitting for nearly 5 to 6 hours without standing up? Leave a comment to share, because who knows, your story might inspire others too. So we know that sitting for a long time not only makes the body tired but also affects the heart, brain, and even longevity. But I believe that when we realize the cause, the change will become much easier. And most importantly, we don't need to run around like our children, but just need to apply a few small things, a little bit every day, and our health can improve significantly. Next, I want to share with you an extremely simple way, but it brings many benefits to the elderly, that is, combining light exercise with daily activities. No need for sports equipment, no need to go outside, you just need the house you live in. For example, like this. Every morning after waking up, instead of sitting down at the breakfast table, you can start the day with a few gentle movements. It's very simple. Just raise your arms up and down, rotate your shoulders, rotate your neck, shake your legs gently. About 5 minutes is enough to wake up the body. The blood begins to circulate. The body feels warmer, the mind is also more alert. Then I eat breakfast, read the newspaper, drink tea, but at that time the body has warmed up, no longer feeling sluggish like before. Another activity that many people ignore, but is actually an effective way to exercise, is doing light housework. Wiping the table, watering the plants, sweeping the floor, folding clothes, they may seem trivial, but they are all forms of exercise. Every time you stand up and move around the house, your body is stretched a little, you breathe a little deeper. And just like that, if you do 15 to 20 minutes of light activity like that every day, you will significantly reduce the risk of muscle stiffness, back pain, and especially reduce the negative effects of sitting for a long time. I have an aunt in her 70s in Texas who maintains a simple routine every day, wiping the table in the morning, washing 1 to 2 dishes at noon, and watering the plants in the yard in the afternoon. Only a few minutes each time, but regularly. Last year, when the doctor checked her health, they were surprised because she was much more flexible and agile than people her age. She just smiled gently. "I don't do anything, I just can't sit still for too long." In addition to integrating movement into daily activities, another very effective way is to combine movement with conversation or entertainment. For example, when you listen to the radio, watch TV, or call friends, take the opportunity to stand up and walk around the house. Every time the phone rings, instead of sitting still to answer, you can walk slowly around the room while talking. Or when watching TV, instead of sitting for 2 hours straight, you can divide the movement into 30-minute segments, with 5 minutes between each segment to stand up and stretch your shoulders and knees. The same goes for watching this video. It is estimated that in 20 minutes you have already stood up and stretched 4 times. These seemingly simple things actually have a great effect in preventing pain, increasing blood circulation, and keeping bones and joints flexible. Another little tip you can try today is to place a chair without a back in the house, so that when you sit down, you have to gently balance with your abdominal and back muscles. It is not too difficult, not tiring, but it is an extremely effective passive exercise. Sitting in a chair with a back for a long time, we often lean back, causing the back muscles to weaken. When you sit up straight, keeping your back in the correct position, your body will always be trained silently. Another thing I want to share, which may sound a bit strange, but is especially encouraged by doctors, is to laugh more. That's right, laugh. Because when you laugh, your abdominal muscles contract, your lungs expand, and your blood circulates more strongly. Not only does it help you relax, laughing is also a gentle form of exercise that you can do anywhere, anytime. Watching a comedy, chatting with friends, playing with your grandchildren, all of these help you exercise naturally and happily. You see, overcoming the consequences of sitting for a long time does not have to be too difficult or expensive. Just proactively adding a little movement to your daily life, your body will automatically respond with more health and alertness. And moreover, I want to emphasize one thing: perseverance. Each small action, when repeated every day, will form a habit. The first week may be a bit forgetful, but after only 2 to 3 weeks, you will see your body starting to change: less tired, better sleep, more delicious food. The body is like a tree. If we water and care for it every day, it will grow and be green. But if we ignore it, sit still in one place, then in no time, that tree will wither. So, from now on, every time you find yourself sitting for more than an hour, remind yourself, stand up for a bit. It's that simple, but it's the way to prolong your life in a sustainable way. In the next part, I will share some simple exercises suitable for people over 60 years old that can be done right at home. Each time only takes a few minutes, but will help you significantly improve your cardiovascular health, bones, joints, and memory. And I will also talk about a very familiar habit that many people do not know that, if maintained every day, can help you live many more years. I hope you will continue with me to the end of this journey. If you are still following this far, then I believe that you and we both have one thing in common. That is, we seriously care about our own health, not only for today but for the years ahead. And like me, you probably thought that when you're over 60, everything is fine, no need to change anything more. But in reality, it's the small changes at this age that bring the biggest results. Because our bodies are now like a sophisticated machine. With the right care, it can still run smoothly and durably for many more years. So let's start with something that anyone can do: the sit-up exercise from a chair, also known as a light squat. You don't need to lift weights or run, just choose a chair with a moderate height every morning, sit down, then stand up. Repeat 5 to 10 times depending on your strength. This exercise is simple, but according to a study from the American Journal of Preventive Medicine, people over 60 who can do at least 10 sit-ups in 1 minute will have a 40% lower risk of early death than those who are sedentary. That not only speaks to the effectiveness of the exercise, but also shows the endurance of your legs is a direct indicator of your longevity. I once challenged myself by not using my hands to stand up from a chair, just using my legs and stomach. It was hard at first, but I got used to it. And thanks to that, my knees hurt less, and I didn't need to use a cane to walk. If you haven't tried it before, start with 3 times every morning. Then gradually increase to 5, then 10. Once you get used to it, you will find yourself wanting to move more, not as lazy as before. Another very good exercise for those who often have numb legs or back pain is the stretching exercise combined with deep breathing. You can stand up straight, inhale deeply, then raise your arms over your head, stretching as far as possible. Then exhale slowly and lower your arms. Do this 5 to 7 times every morning and every afternoon. Your body will be more flexible, your breathing will be deeper, and your heart will beat more evenly. Deep breathing not only helps more oxygen to the brain, but also reduces the level of cortisol, a stress hormone, in the blood. Relax your body and your mind. And now, I want to share a habit that sounds very everyday, but science has proven that it has the ability to prolong life, that is walking every day. You don't have to go far, nor do you need to be fast. Just walk in the yard, on the porch, or even around the house. 15 to 20 minutes a day is enough to improve cardiovascular health, stabilize blood pressure, and especially, reduce the risk of dementia by up to 30% according to a report by the National Institute on Aging, USA. Interestingly, walking is also the best medicine to combat the consequences of sitting for a long time. The human body is designed to move, not to be attached to a chair. We have legs to walk, to explore, so why do we make them stand still for hours? I once talked to an 85-year-old man in California who said, "Every day I walk around the yard 4 times. On rainy days, I walk around the living room. I don't walk fast, I don't walk far, but I never miss a day." When I asked him why he was so persistent, he smiled and replied, "Because I want to walk by myself until the end of my life." One more thing I want to share with you. It may sound a bit surprising, but it is really important, that is, taking a nap and having the right resting habits also help limit the harmful effects of sitting for a long time. Why? Because when you sit too much, your internal organs are compressed, especially your intestines, liver, and lungs. But when you lie down and rest in the right position, your body has a chance to relax and your blood circulates better. Therefore, a short nap of about 20 to 30 minutes, lying on a comfortable flat surface, is the way to help your body recover after a long time of sitting or standing. Finally, as I said at the beginning of the video, there is a method that the medical community calls a miracle drug that doesn't need to be taken. And I hope you will remember this method forever, that is, allow yourself to stand up, not only with your body but also with your spirit. Sitting for a long time is sometimes not only a physical habit, but also a manifestation of fatigue, boredom, and lack of motivation. When the spirit has nothing to look forward to, we easily fall into a state of sluggishness, not wanting to stand up, not wanting to go out, not wanting to start anything new. But my friend, every day we still wake up, can still hear the birds, can still see the morning sun, can still chat with our children, friends, then that day we still have a reason to live healthy. And living healthy doesn't have to be grand. Just every hour, every session, every day, you proactively stand up, take a few steps, laugh a few times, take a few deep breaths. That's enough for your body to recognize you are still alive and truly alive. Before I end this video, I would love for you to share your thoughts in the comments section below. How long do you usually sit each day? Are there any exercises you are doing to improve your health? Or did you simply stand up and take a few steps today after watching this video? If you found the video useful, don't forget to click like to let me know that this topic is of interest. And click subscribe so we can meet again in the next sharing about health, spirit, and other good things for old age. Wishing you a happy, healthy life, living every moment to the fullest. Goodbye and see you in the next video.